Hello everyone, my name is Yella and today I am going to do a retelling about a book named Volta, James and the Giant Peach, illustrated by Quentin Blake. Today I am doing chapter 38 and chapter 39. So let's begin. So after all the creatures and James were safely on the ground, they became famous. I wish I was famous. Anyway, they became so famous, they rode in a limo across the park, and every single people in New York came here to watch them. I just can't believe it. But the centipede was made vice president in charge of sales of a high-class firm of boot and shoe manufacturers. Wow! And the earthworm, with his lovely pink skin, was employed by a company that made women's face creams to speak commercials on television. Yeah, that's a little kinda weird. Anyway, the silkworm and Miss Spider, after they had both been taught to make needle thread instead of silk, set up a factory together and made ropes for tightrope walkers. And the glowworm, of course, don't forget, became the light inside the torch on the Statue of Liberty, and thus saved a grateful city from having to pay a huge electricity bill every year. And the old green grasshopper, of course, became a member of the New York Symphony Orchestra, where his playing was greatly admired. And the ladybug, who had been haunted all her life by the fear that her house was on fire and her children all gone, married the head of the fire department and lived happily ever after. I mean, who wants to marry a ladybug? Especially a human. That human is the last thing on earth that wants to marry a ladybug. But it's a story, so you can't stop it. And as for the enormous peach stone, it was set up permanently in a place of honor in Central Park and became a famous monument. But it was not only a famous monument, it was also a famous house. And guess who lived inside the house? You're right, James Henry Trotter himself. Wow! And every children in New York City came here to meet James. And now James, who was the loneliest boy ever long ago, became now the happiest boy ever with all his playmates and became happy again. And then he wrote a story, because every children kept on begging to tell the story of the peach again. So James wrote a story, and that story is the book that you just finished reading now.